Cool, man. What's up, guys? Welcome to the Five Tools Show. Usually we have amazing collectors on showing their cards to us, but tonight me and Joe are going to show the cards to you guys that we, collect and just have some fun. I know there's crazy drama in the hobby with influencers and all that. We just chill and collect. So we're going to pull out some of our favorite pieces right now and hope you guys enjoy this. Let's do it.
I was reading something today, some dude who worked for the backyard breaks, whatever those kids are.
Yeah.
Kid who worked for them, exposed them and shit like that, like how they cheat, whatever, if it's real or not. It's just so much stuff with like all these breaker kids and all this other shit. It's like, I feel like, with us, we're so clean and free. Is like, we just love what we love. And that's really what the hobby's about. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we might jump in a break, but we always do it with good people. The same way we have the same guests we have on the show, good people, and that's what the hobby's about. Me and you wouldn't be doing this if we weren't doing it for the love, right? Like, we would be sitting here spending an hour out of our day if it wasn't for the good, right?
With that said, Joe, let's get into this. Let's show some cards off, bro. Some of our favorite cards.
We haven't done this in a while.
Yep.
So
that card's
now I always wanted a Jimmy Hart auto, but when I saw this with Hogan and Savage, I was like, you know what? This is not an expensive card, but I don't care because, to have Macho and Hogan with Jimmy Hart, it's just so perfect. It epitomizes everything about wrestling. And you have the two legends with Jimmy Hart. Got this for like $20. Come on. Like, it bugs me out because like the cards you can pick up that you love that might never be worth a lot of money. But like, bro, you go to Starbucks, you get a coffee, it's $8.
Now that's you nailed it with that. You can get cards that you really love for cheap. And speaking of which, we were talking about this Ed Abaticchio, and I think I got this card for like $40. This Ed Abaticchio,
crazy.
Just a great card because there's a lot of history. He's kind of mysterious character. One of the first dudes, maybe the first guy to really use his name, like his Italian name, and not care about it. And because there probably were others, but like he might be the first Italian, and he might be the first like two-sport pro player as a football player. So that's just mad cool.
The color on that is crazy. All right, so this is something that you might remember about. If you remember a while back, I had bought a Sinatra, one of his rookie cards, and I cracked it. It was like a BCCG. It was like one of those like slabs you just don't want a card like this in. And it was an 8 in the BCCG. And usually they say those cards are like 2 or 3. If you go to PSA, it's probably 2 or 3 grades lower. So in my mind, I'm like, all right, it was an 8 in this. If I could get it to like a 6, for this card is in a 6, it is a huge card. And I got this back the other day, and it came back a 6. That's a 47. So awesome. It's a 47, and that's like one of his first, basically like you could say his rookie card. But this, I cracked this myself, so it was definitely a lot of stress and pressure to crack this without doing any damage to it. But I watched a lot of YouTube videos from some of these old timers, and they made it look so easy. So I did it on a few cheaper cards and stuff like that in practice. But I had to get it out of that case. I did. Came back a 6, and yeah, this is like a special. Me with the Sinatras, bro. This is like a special card. So to get a 6 in this, bro, there's some 8s and 9s that are going for like 4,000 or 5,000. So like having a 6 in this is like, yeah, crazy. Definitely fired up about it.
So here's another card. When we had cards with a story on, we were talking about backgrounds. There's T206 1910. It's a Piedmont back of Frank Oberlin. Like this card, just such a crazy card. Talking about cheap cards, this card might have been like $50 or a few years back. You know what I mean? It's a 1, whatever. I don't know if this card could have been altered or whatever. I really don't. I don't care about it.
The color on that card is just like that. That blows my mind. Like those, and like what 100-something-year-old card. It's just crazy.
Yeah, and there was an interesting debate in the hobby, which is the kind of debate that's kind of cool, I think, where there were people calling out trimming because trimming was kind of being almost like accepted. And then I heard another perspective where somebody who like I have a lot of respect for was like, but listen, it lets me get these cards that are really cheap and altered for cheap. Because, if the card wasn't, and I'll show, one of those in a minute, but if the card wasn't altered, the card would be like, $1,200 or something. Not all of them, but there are some that are trimmed that like the card's great shape other than it was trimmed. It's in an A. You'll get the card for like really cheap, but the card may look like perfect, so really, you never know with that. Yep. But that's, yeah, I agree 100%. It's all about the way the card.
With a Satch, like I think it was like a 53, whatever his Topps rookie is, and the kid was selling it. Yeah, the kid was selling it. It was trimmed, but it was like you just said, if it wasn't trimmed, it probably would have been like an 8. You know what I'm saying? Like it was, right. And he was selling it for like 500-600. In my mind, I'm like, yo, it's so beautiful. It's like, do I really care? But then, you're kind of like at that thing where like, you feel like, all right, I have something, but it's not, I don't know how even to put it, but I guess really it's just how you feel. Now, my thing is, if I love a card and I can get it for the cheap price, but the card is beautiful in terms of the color and the surface, I'm willing to do that. Not for a lot of cards, but for a card that I always wanted. Because maybe that card just looks so beautiful on my desk, on my wall, and you're just like, you know what? Yeah, it's trim, but the card itself is just so beautiful, the color and everything. So that's a tough thing to kind of like. But I think it's really just on you. Are you okay with it for you and your PC to have a card like that? I mean, I don't know. It's a weird. That's a good topic to talk about. I got something new. You know me with the hip hop cards. I've been doing getting a lot of hip hop signed cards. And I'm really excited to add this Ice Cube rookie signed. I've been, I'm trying to get all the legends, all the artists that I grew up on, that I, grew up listening to, that are part of my, childhood, basically. Ice Cube, even though he's from the West Coast and I grew up in New York, I always loved Ice Cube. And now I just think he's like a legend in the game. But so yeah, I'm building it up. I have an LL, I have a KRS-One, I have a few others. So like adding the Ice Cube, which is with this type, these cards are not worth. I really feel like the hip hop cards still haven't even got anywhere near what they're going to be in the next 3, 4, 5 years. I just feel like they're so undervalued that you can get an Ice-T, PSA 10 rookie for $40. To me, is crazy.
Yeah, I feel like those cards are going to be worth money at some time. They're going to be worth more money, 10 years from now. Ice Cube, whatever. Any of these dudes, Ice-T, Legendary, Cool G Rap, Jay-Z, whatever, man. All those guys, like, there's value in those autographs. Big time value, So you couple that with the collective aspect of the collector, and it's gold, man. It's gold. So of just amazing people in the hobby, man. Signed 1933 Gowdy, gave me this card. It's Wood Conroy from the Lionel Carter collection. I mean, this card is unbelievable. Just an absolutely stunning card. The back, and just the fact that, like, we were just talking about Lionel Carter. We did a video, and I was like, yeah, Lionel Carter. And he just sent me a card. It was just unbelievable. Just such a nice guy. One of the true gentlemen in the hobby. Wanted to get up with him in New York. Next time, hopefully I will, or maybe I'll see him in Arkansas. But I still have his, the thing he sent, his letter and all that. Like, just an awesome guy, man. Super cool. And just an amazing collector. We talk about that dude's collection. It's truly on another level, man. I mean, I'm very impressed with like other autograph collections too, but that one, just based on the age of it, I mean, it is just an unbelievable feat of collecting. To get, and like him being a big part of it, not like some guy who's like, oh, I'm going to buy all these cards. Like, he's a guy who's doing this when he was a young kid. It's just an amazing, again, certain collectors, they see stuff in the future and they're able to do it. And that's huge. So shout out to Sign 1933 Gowdy.
Yeah. And,
awesome collection. Check that dude's Instagram.
Not only is he such, an amazing collector, he's probably in the top 2 or 3 in terms of collections, now I'm talking, not Carter, Lionel, those guys are friggin' like Uncle Jimmy and all those guys. they're in a whole nother stratosphere. But I'm saying right now, I feel like he's just. But what makes it even more better is that he's such an awesome guy, you know, and that makes you like appreciate his collection better because you know when he posts something, he's not posting, he's posting it very humble. He's writing about the player, he's getting insight into the person's life, how he got the card, how you know, there's so many things. He's just, you know, he's like a narrator, you know, and that's what makes, you know, him so cool. And as we're speaking to him, I have something too. So this is Tony Bennett. What's really freaking cool about this card is that, you know, you got the Golden Gate Bridge, and these Allen and Ginter cards. Now, I got a Vin Scully one, for a Brooklyn Bridge card from, these are like one-on-one cards. You're not going to really ever see these again because whoever thought, I don't even know if he thought, but I don't even, to just think to get the autographs on these cards are friggin' amazing, right? So when Tony Bennett passed away, 33 Gowdy, he had posted on his page, Tony Bennett autograph. He posted this card. So I wrote, you know, like, wow, that's amazing, man. If you have, you know, if you ever part with that or whatever. And I don't know, maybe a month later, I checked my mail, and all of a sudden this card was in my mailbox with a letter, you know, and he was like, I had 2 of these cards, and I felt, what the heck do I need 2 of them for? I know how much you know you love Tony Bennett, and it's yours. It deserves to be in your PC. Bro, I almost shed a tear because, like, who does that? You know, people just don't do that. And I was like, this guy, you know, is not only, you know, a nice dude and a great collector, but like he's a good person. And I couldn't believe, I was really taken aback that he even did that. I know how you felt the same way with, you know, with that card. It was just like, you know, people think about you and are willing to give up a card that's, you know, it's not a $20 card. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but I think with him, it's not about the money. It's just like, that's the type of person he is.
I was at a spot in Long Island, and they had a bunch of 35 Diamond Stars, and this is like, again with the background, this card might have been like $40. It's a Walter Berger. Just like the way these cards were made, they're just so beautiful. When I saw this card, I'm like, I need this card. It's like a little piece of art, you know.
The colors are just
like those T06 joints. It's just amazing color, amazing background, super cheap. I forget, I didn't even know it's a 2. Yeah, I wasn't thinking when I saw this card, I was like, I don't care what the grade is.
I wouldn't care.
That's $40. I'll take that card all day. Diamond Stars, one of the really amazing sets, and I bought a bunch of them for like, I don't know, $250. I got like 7 really nice ones. He had a bunch, but I picked out the ones that I really loved. The backgrounds are crazy. So many cards we had to go through to, you know, I mean, I don't want to get too crazy, so we only do an X amount of cards, but you know,
that would be a fun set to work on too. That's funny you said that because so I've been working on the 41 play ball set. I only have probably like 8 or 9. You know, I don't buy them. You know, even some of the, you know, the beat up commons are worth, you know, still paying $30-$40 for some. You know, they're tough to find. So, but recently, I think it was in the Card Story, Cards with the Story. I think his Wednesday vintage thread, which is phenomenal. You always find deals in there. I found this awesome. Beautiful lefty, man.
Oh, that's nice, man.
And I feel like it's in, you know, pretty decent condition. I mean, you know what I'm saying? For this era, I mean, listen, I'm not trying to grade these, honestly. Like, if I could finish the set, I'm just going to get the set raw. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, the Joe D in there, I don't even know if you could even find that thing raw. Obviously, some of the big cards I'd have to, you know, slab up. But like a card like this guy was a legendary player. And see what I love about this card, it's just, you know, the corners are a little beat up, but it's like a portrait, and it's like very well centered, you know. So really dope card, really great set. I love this set. The colors on this set are pretty amazing, and just a legendary Yankee pitcher too.
Here's the 89 Topps batting leaders Don Mattingly insert, one of the super rare inserts. I mean, in a great, and this is in a 9. These cards are really hard. I think they were in the Kmart blister packs, and they were always on top, so the cards just never grade well. You buy a new one of these on eBay, I mean, you're not likely to see the Mattingly. You're going to see somebody else. But this in a 9, an awesome card, one of the rare inserts from, 89 Topps. You see the back's totally different. It's not numbered like
What?
that.
Bro, that
So,
card is insane.
right, it's just a beautiful card, and it's Donnie baseball. So gotta show
That is
that one.
great. It is a dope one. This Tony Gwynn,
Oh yeah,
he,
yeah, that's a dope card. I love that insert, and just like the hologram, I think people are sleeping on the holograms, bro.
I
You
feel
know,
like, bro, if you look at this card, I know it's tough on camera to see, but the 3D, and then I mean, it's unbelievable, this card. Like, if you look at this and move it very slow with him in the background with the fans, and then I probably, I mean, listen, no matter what I do, it probably is not going to show, but I mean, it's just such an incredible card. I got this in I believe I got this. There's a really good it's a good plug here on Whatnot. There's a Cavalier Cards. They do a vintage every Sunday. They do a vintage auction, and they'll have 90s stuff, 60s stuff. They'll have, but I think I got it from there for like $10, whatever. But like, regardless of what, it's just such a dope card. I never had any of these cards. I've seen them before, but I've never had one. And it's just like, I feel like sometimes you go on these auctions or whatever, and you find cards that like you would pass up maybe in a show because like you're going through a box, but like in an auction you get to see it. You have 30 seconds. You get to see it more. It's under the light, and like I was just like, wow. But like, I bought a few cards from him, from the Cavalier Cards. They have a really dope vintage thread. But like this Gwyn, man, this is a cool, really cool piece, man. I don't, especially like that era. Like I feel like I don't have a lot of cards from that era. Basically probably wasn't collecting those type of cards. I feel like when I was younger, it was like, in the 80s, like Flagship, and it was just, then it went into all these different type of cards, and I don't think I was really collecting those, so I feel like a kid again grabbing these.
here's a 89 O-Pee-Chee hand cut Ricky Henderson and a PSA 9.
Come on, bro.
Yeah, and the cool thing about
right there,
this card is that, like, and we speak about these, like, this is an insert, not an insert. Well, it's considered an insert. I don't consider it an insert. It doesn't come in a pack, but this card is a parallel and a variation at the same time. And they weren't trying to be parallels or variations. It's just at the bottom of the box, it's hard to, maybe you can't see, but it's a blue border. And there are better examples of like the 86 tops where the top is red, the rest of the set's black, But these are super tough. And in 9, this is probably like under pop 5. There might be a couple of, PSA 10s out there.
What does the back look? What does the back look like on that?
It looks different than the card. It looks like back of the box.
Yo, that's crazy. Honestly, I don't even know if I ever even seen that card, bro.
Crazy card. You need Rob England to cut a 10 for these, bro.
Yo, for real.
Rob England posting these cards, and I'm like, I think I'm pretty nice with the cutter. And I'm seeing Rob England. I'm like, is that a scissor or cutter? And he's like, it's a scissor. Because I remember he said he cut the rounded Japanese cards, but like straight cards, dude, the way he cut it, it looks like a machine cut it, like a laser.
Oh, he got like 5 PSA 10s. He just did something. He sent it to PSA 10. He got 5 10s.
Wow. Yeah, no.
Speaking, this is one of Rob's cards that he cut. This is Abdul the Butcher's auto.
Wow, that's insane, bro.
Yeah, I bought that off Rob, and you could see how he cut those corners. Because remember what he told us when PSA first graded these, they would only grade them if you did the corners rounded like this. Now you could send them in anyway. So
right,
I got this off Rob, and I also got I love this card, man. This is the Chromie.
That's awesome.
And the Luger and the Chromie. This is I love this card, man.
Wow. All right. So 93. This is one of my favorite cards, man. I bought this at my LCS. Bought 2 of them. One came at 7, one came at 9. Ichiro's actual, man. The 93 BBM and a PSA 9. I mean, this card at one point was, it was up there. I'm not that crazy, but like a 10 of this is big money, Like,
now you bought that.
Thousands,
bought that graded, right? You didn't grade that. You bought it graded, right?
No, I bought this raw. I bought 2 of these raw for my LCS. So one came at 7 and one came at 9. But
that's crazy to get that card and raw and hit a 9 is crazy.
Yeah, 93. His real rookie one of his real rookies from Japan. I also have a couple of the other ones, but Ichiro, you know, that's one of my PC guys, and I have to have his real rookie. So that's a cool card, man. Shout
It's
out to
funny
Royal Club.
when I got back in the game, like when we first started doing the show a long time ago, 3 years, whatever it was, maybe before COVID or around that time. I remember you the first thing you were saying was like Ichiro, like I'm on an Ichiro thing, buy Ichiro, buy Pujols. And I remember you saying that a long time ago. So like I bet you the cards that you got back then, I mean, this kid, you know, it's a whole different world with Ichiro now. You know what I'm saying? So like, I don't know, man. I just always remember you talking about buy Ichiro, buy Ichiro.
I feel like when Ichiro goes into the Hall of Fame as the first ballot Hall of Famer, maybe with 100% of the vote, first person ever, perhaps. And how that could even be denied? Like you must be like the dude came into the league at 27. He still had 3,000 hits. He would have been messing. You know, he would have been up there with the Rose and the Cobb numbers, man. He would have surpassed Jeter. I feel like the guy. I mean, 200 hit seasons like all the time. The guy averaged like over like just like Tony Gwynn. Like when you're averaging over 200 hits a season, you're getting more than one hit a game. It's absurd. Like you just.
All right, this is my favorite pickup probably in the last long time. I got this recently, maybe like a week ago. And I mean, this is Munson OPG rookie.
Whoa.
This thing is like, I mean, honestly, it's so perfect. I mean, it's such an incredible card that, like, you know, when you buy something online, you just don't know what you're getting. But this thing is, and it's almost like it came right out of a pack. And now you know with OPG, bro, you never get centering like this.
No, that card is unbelievable, bro. It is so sharp. It's so centered. It's dead centered. It's dead centered top to bottom and left to right is like just
right?
almost perfect. Like the corners.
It looks like it almost could get a 9.
Yep.
I mean, it probably won't
give you a 9. That's a great card, bro. Wow, the OPG. That's
bro,
crazy.
when you even see like a card, like listen, OPG, like you know, you might get one that's, you know, crisp, but it's like way off centered, right? Or you might get one that's centered, but like it's dinged up. This thing, like I put it under the there's nothing on this card. There's a little blemish. I don't know if you could see by the Y. It's like a little blemish. I don't even know. It's probably just from printing, but overall, it's just such a big. The color on this, it's just like I couldn't even believe it. And honestly, I got this. It was in an auction, and I paid like $84 for it, which I think is
wow.
I think that's insane, honestly, because I saw it in the auction and it was like $50 with like 5 minutes left, and I'm like, there's something got to be wrong with this card. Like, you know, I checked it because I always check the seller, so I'm like, maybe the seller was like 3,000 items sold, 100 rating. I'm like, all right, so the seller's good. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then I'm looking at the card, like he didn't write any blemishes. It said near mint. I'm like, well, if something's wrong with it, he has it in the description. I could always return it. You know what I'm saying? Like but and then I got it, and I'm like, yo, this is an insane card. It's like one of those cards, like in a way, I don't even know if I want to grade it. It looked like, because like I don't know if I like it looks so beautiful. I don't want to send this to PSA and they tell me it's a 6 when I know it's not a 6. You know what I'm saying? Like
that is a tremendous card, man. Wow, such a beautiful card, and like the OPG is amazing, and so sharp, so sharp. Great card. Yeah, I know. I don't know what you would want to do with that one. But great card. Here's a 92 Donruss Elite Tony Gwynn.
Yo, you find these elites, man. How do you find these? Oh, that thing is crazy.
Look at these joints. Got this for pretty cheap. Out of 10,000. And the crazy thing about these cards is, though, even though it's out of 10,000, you know, these cards were not like in every, you know, the amount of pallets of cards they were making was just insane back in the day. It's not like now. So, I mean, even now it's getting crazy too with all the, you know, the parallels. But like back in those days, like you might buy, you know, a couple of cases, you might get one of those. Some of those are still out there. I actually pulled a 94 Elite Series Juan Gonzalez. I have the video of it on my phone. It was crazy because I was opening a pack I got, and I see something upside down. I'm like, hold on. I put my phone on and I turn it, and it's a Wong. I think when my wife grabbed it, the phone, and I showed some Wongo. I mean, it's cool. I have the card somewhere. The corner was destroyed, but they're still out there. There's a lot of boxes in 91 Donruss, 92 Donruss, 93. Those inserts are out there somewhere. You know, you see one at a show. It's like, oh yeah, it's a $2 thing. 91. You might pull one. You never know.
Here's the question I have for you.
Especially with like, you know.
Oh no, I don't want to forget. So with those packs, I never pulled one opening those. They are turned the other way. They are flipped over in the packs. I got this in the Cavalier auction too. It was probably like $8. But now, what's dope about this is not numbered, but it's two legends, two guys that I admire in basketball. And what's cool about this card, I got this for like $8. But yo, this is two incredible players, right? But these are game used. Two legends, like that let's listen. I admire those guys. The guys fucking played hard. They were like legend, and a game used material. You know what I'm saying? When I looked at that, I was like, yo, that's pretty dope to get a card like this for $8.
This is a really cool card. 94 Classic Best. It's a minor league set, but there's I think there are two players in this illustrated acetate insert set. This is the Jeter and a 9. This card is crazy.
That's crazy.
One of my favorite cards. Like, it looks what? Right. Got this card for like $100.
Yeah, I've never you pull stuff out from that era that I've never even seen. I guess I'm not looking for it, but you pull stuff I've never even seen before, man. It's crazy.
Well, on my other YouTube, I was doing this series of all the inserts, so after talking to you and Gowdy, I was like, yeah, I need a project. So I did it 90 to 93. I have, with some exceptions, most of the, not every card, but like one card from each set. And while I was doing that, you learn about different inserts that I wasn't what I love about the 90s is that I wasn't collecting them. I wasn't. Yep. I early 90s, yes, but then I stopped collecting. So for me, all these cards to me now are new. That's why I love the 90s stuff. I look for it. But there's just a lot of cool stuff out there. Doing that, you run into some roadblocks that are like insane, like the George Bush card, 1990. Let's go. I'm not getting that card. That card's insane. Like, you get a real one, So I bought the fake one. And then there might be a couple of other ones that like I was not able to get. And they're going to be more as I get deeper into the 90s.
It's like how you learn. It's almost like when I was doing the Negro League project. It's like, you think you have something, and then you're like, oh, this guy, I didn't even know he doesn't have a card. How am I going to find, and then you're like, it becomes a whole project in itself, right? Because when you think I got this, and then all of a sudden you read about something, or you learn a little more, or you're like, oh, this, there was guys that I had to dig for months just to find something on them, put an eBay search in, and hopefully one day that something pops up in the morning, because it was impossible to find. But then like you said, you learn about the player, you learn about that set of whatever card that was. You're like, oh shoot. And then you get like, it becomes kind of like, you become like a private investigator. You know what I'm saying? You really do, because you start going down all these different ways to find out different things. So like, but it's cool. I mean, I think that's what, the journey is the fun thing, right? Like the Negro League thing, I did it, Saber posted it. I was, trying to write a book on it. And then I came into my mind and said, you know what? And this is what I'm doing now. I got a card from every Negro League player that played in the Negro Leagues, that played in Major League Baseball. Now I'm going to get every one of those players. I'm going to try to get a signed piece of either card, memorabilia, ball. So now I'm up to like, out of the 85, I'm like at 28 signed. So like, obviously getting a signed Jackie in a, we're talking about ridiculous. I mean, you could find a signed Hank. Like I have an Ernie Banks postcard that I had since a kid. So like I had a few things, but like it's still the journey of the project, and whether it takes you a year or whether it takes you 10 years, it's still, that's what makes it fun. The journey, man. Because once you're done with it, then you're done. Really, you could always upgrade, but that whole fun learning part of it is over. So the journey is always the coolest thing. I am a fan of this kid. I love because he could do it all, and I love how hard he plays. But I was opening, I was bored one day. I was in Target, and for some reason, when I buy something and I open stuff in the car, like a car rip, I hit insane cards. I hit that gold Holland card that's at PSA right now to 10 from a Soccer Blaster, and I hit this card, which is a really beautiful card.
Ellie.
This Ellie Speckle. I mean, it's just a beautiful card. It's a 299, and I'm sending this to PSA because it's dead center and it's just a great card. But like this kid, some of these cards, man. I mean, this is it's a beautiful card.
Here's a 96 BBM Wrestling. It's a cool card because it has Kamala as Giant Kamara on there.
Bro, that card's great. So funny. I pulled out a stack of cards a while ago because I wanted to send to PSA, and that was like the first card I pulled out. What do you get on that?
9.
9, nice. Yeah, that's a good. That's what's the back of that card again? Yo, I got one more cool thing. I got this in an auction for $25. I don't even know what it's worth. It's probably not worth a lot, but anything that's Jordan. So this is a ticket from 1988 Jordan when he scored 40 points in MSG.
That's awesome, bro.
Now, for me to get this for $22, I mean, even if it's worth 22, I still think that's just crazy that you can get a ticket of Jordan to scoring 40 points in 88, which was only what, a second or third year. I think that's just a cool piece to even have for just for your PC. You have, and I know that he's killed my Knicks, but just to respect the legendary of Jordan, to have one of his tickets from his early on in his career that he dropped 40 in the Garden, thought it was cool for $20 and $22.
I got some crazy 90s stuff, man. This is a 95 Finest Chipper Jones refractor and a PSA. This was a throwing card at one of my recent subs, and I don't know how they gave it a 10 because I really was like, I just want that card in the slab because it looks really nice. I thought maybe an 8.5 or whatever. Came back at 10. I'm not going to complain.
Bro, those cards those are hard to gem though. That's crazy.
Yeah. Bro, I'll show you real quick because I have a few. I don't want to go through all of them. This is a Bowman's Best Griffey in a 9 atomic refractor.
Now, what does that go for about?
I mean, I think I got this card for like $80 a few years ago. I mean, I don't know. I bet you if you put it up for auction, you get definitely over $100. I don't know.
Maybe 200, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it's a crazy card.
An incredible looking card, though.
Yeah, man. It's like these cards, and it's like you are not getting a bunch of these. This is like you get a refractor, maybe an atomic refractor, and then that's it, man. You're not getting anything crazy. Like that's all there is.
I opened the box of those Top Finest. I got one refractor, I think, in the whole box. This is fresh. AI's signed rookie.
I remember you showed me. That's a great card.
I love this card, man. I got this in the show. Guy did the right thing. My new thing is getting signed rookie cards of athletes that I like admired growing up. Like that's straight. That's kind of like what I'm doing. Not that it's a project, but just like, just something that you could have. Like I got a Marino rookie, sign. I got a Randy Johnson. I got Ivan. Like I just think these are guys that I watched growing up, and I was like in awe of them. You know what I'm saying? Because they were so great at their craft. Iverson changed basketball. He really did. You know what I'm saying? Everything he did, he changed from the fashion, from his crossover, from his style. And then you look at a guy like Randy Johnson. He changed the game. Like there was nobody ever like him. He really wasn't. He was a freak of nature.
Here's this like maybe my favorite card out of all my modern cards. And shout out to Steve Loft when we had that video. I got to jump back on it, but I started selling. So this is all bought from lots of like junk wax, 90s base cards and shit like that. Like and I was just like, whatever, $12, cool. I make $8 on it, or selling ones for $50, some for 70. I buy a new box. I take everything out except the rookies I want, sell the rest, sell an auto, whatever. Get to that and get to a card that you really want. Like that's cool. I need to do that all the time. I did it once. I started slacking. You know,
It feels good
I
though.
it does.
I got a quarter classic. When I hit the quarter classics up, I got a. This is a great card right here, man. Old school Don Russ, Tony Pena auto.
Oh, that's nice, man.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh, that's 82 Donruss too. I mean,
yep.
83 Don, 83 or 82.
I think this is eight. Yeah, this is 80, 83. Pena was a legend growing up. He had the 1 foot out, and he had a gun. He was very fiery. And then later on, he came on. He was with the Yanks as a coach and stuff like that. So I always loved Tony Pena, man. I always thought Tony Pena was like a very underrated baseball player.
So this last one is an interesting card. It's a Metro card, right? But
What?
it's the card from the 2000 World Series, the Yankees versus the Mets.
What?
So kind of cool to have, you know. It's I have this in